Welcome to today's class, all about cultivating courage. No matter how much fear would have us choose otherwise, courage supports us in making choices to align with our Svadharma. We're going to begin today's class in a child's pose, making sure that your knees are a bit wider than your hips. Your toes together behind you, sinking your hips into your heels. You're going to drop your chest towards the mat, extending your arms out in front of you, really rooting your hands into the mat, letting your forehead rest on your mat. Taking a moment here to connect with our bodies and with the present moment. Noticing how the breath is moving through the body here. Trying to take deeper breaths now, without any force, just naturally letting your breath become deeper and deeper as you take bigger breaths here, letting the breath come into the stomach, into the ribs, into your chest, your shoulders. And with an exhale, letting it all out, letting your navel draw back towards the spine. Trying to stay connected to your breath throughout your practice, letting it be your guide and your anchor into the present moment. If your mind starts to drift or wander, thoughts coming through, just observing them, letting them drift away as you bring your awareness back to your breath. Saying to ourselves here at the beginning of our practice, maybe at the beginning of your day, I'm ready for what today brings. Maybe even saying that out loud to yourself. I'm ready for what today brings. On our next inhale, when you're ready, you're going to start to roll forward, coming onto your hands and knees here. We're going to come into a quick tabletop just to help set up for our next pose. Making sure that your shoulders are directly over your wrists, your hips are directly over your knees. You've got that slight engagement of the core as your navel draws towards your spine. Your tailbone is tucked in slightly. Your neck is long, so gently tuck the chin in slightly too. Your fingers are spread out wide, so you're protecting your wrists, pushing your weight into your fingertips and your knuckles to really take the pressure off of our wrists and engage the arms. Perfect. Now that you have a good foundation, we're going to come into our thread the needle. To begin, we'll inhale, reach the right hand up towards the sky. And with an exhale, you're going to thread that arm underneath the left, dropping that right shoulder down to the mat. Your gaze is over towards the left. Really pressing into that left hand, keeping that arm engaged and breathing here. From here we'll untwist, bring the right hand back into the mat, and we'll take it to the opposite side. When you're ready, you'll inhale the left arm up to the sky, and exhale, threading the arm underneath the right, Bringing your gaze over to the right side as well. You'll drop that shoulder to the mat. Breathe here. And on your next inhale, we'll lift back up, placing both hands back into the mat, finding that tabletop, finding that core activation again, making sure that we have that full alignment. And from here, we're going to move through our cat and cow. So when you're ready, you're going to start to push into your hands, into the tops of your feet, push away from the mat. And as you inhale, drop the stomach, open the heart, bring your gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, rounding the spine, draw navel towards the spine. And inhale, open up the heart, gaze goes up to the sky. Start to move with your own breath, finding your own rhythm here. Noticing as you inhale, the back starts to activate, opening the heart. And as you exhale, you draw that navel into spine and that front body activates. Taking one last full breath here through the cat and cow. And on your next inhale, coming back to your tabletop. Doing really good, just making sure that your alignment is still there. You've still got that full body activation, pressing into the tops of your feet, so you've got evenly distributed weight throughout the body. When you're ready, you're then going to start to reach your right hand up, reaching for the front with those fingertips, and your left leg is then going to start to kick back, getting that core engagement, reaching with the fingertips for the front and your heel kicking back towards the back of your mat. Now as we exhale, you're going to crunch it in, bring elbow and knee together, and inhale, extend back out. Moving with our breath, exhale, crunching it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, core draws in towards the spine. Inhale, that lower back activates as well as you extend. Exhale, crunching in, the front body activates. And inhale, reach out, your back body activates. One more time, exhale, inhale, and then exhale, we'll release. We're going to switch sides, so setting yourself up again. When you're ready, begin to reach that left hand for the front. Really reaching with the fingertips as your right foot starts to kick back and the heel pushing towards the back. Toes are pointing down towards the mat, hips are squared to face the mat. And from here we'll begin. Exhale, crunching it in. That front body activates, core draws in. And inhale, reach it out, the back body activates. Exhale, crunching it in. Inhale, extend it back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Really being aware of that core activation. Meaning that front core and the back, all around, that's your core, activating the entire core through these poses. One more time. We'll exhale, crunch in. Inhale, extend back out. And exhale, release down to the mat. Taking a nice deep breath here, releasing any tension in the body. From here, we're going to move into our downward facing dog. So we're going to curl the back toes, press into those fingertips again, maybe open up the hands a little bit if that feels good for you. And then you're going to start to push your hips up towards the sky. If your hamstrings are tight, a little bit like mine, you can keep your knees bent. And we'll take a moment just to pedal out the feet. Getting comfortable in this downward facing dog. You're drawing one heel at a time, gently down towards the mat. Don't worry if you don't touch the heels to the mat. That's not the purpose of this pose. These poses are here to serve you, so whatever feels good in your body, keeping your knees bent is perfectly normal. Just like me, I like to keep my knees bent in downward facing dog. And then we'll come to stillness in that downward facing dog, feeling strong, pushing your chest towards those thighs. Your heels are drawing towards the mat, but not needing to touch the mat if that doesn't feel good for you. Make sure your chest is open. Together we'll really bend those knees now. Look to the top of the mat. And we're going to slowly walk, or if you'd like, step to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Keeping your knees bent just like I am if your hamstrings feel a bit tight. Releasing the upper body here, shaking out the head and the arms. Letting go of any tension here from the upper body. Breathing here. You want to almost have your stomach attached to your thighs. So if you really need to bend your knees to do that, feel free to bend them as much as you need. As long as you're still feeling a nice gentle stretch, that's good for you. Breathe there. We're going to take this stretch a little bit deeper if we want. So you have the option to stay right here. Or if you want, we're going to add a little bit of a heart opener to this by clasping our hands behind our backs. And then you're going to reach those arms over your head. Trying to reach them away from you down towards the mat. If this isn't accessible for your shoulders and you just feel a bit uncomfortable, you can always use a strap. Props are a really beautiful way to elevate your practice. So if you need a strap or even just a belt or anything like a strap, a towel, you can use that, reaching that over your head, using that as a little bit of support. Perfect. We're going to make this into a bit more of a dynamic stretch now. So keeping those arms reaching away from you, bend your knees really generously, and then we're going to start to inhale, lift the chest, open the heart at the top of the mat, and with an exhale, start to forward fold again, reaching those arms over your head. Inhale, we're rising up, knees bent as much as we need here, supporting that lower back, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise up, open the heart, and exhale one more time. We're going to forward fold, and inhale, we rise up. You're going to release the hands. The hands are going to begin to reach up towards the sky, getting a full body stretch here, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. And as you exhale now, you're going to bend the elbows, cactus those arms, open the heart. Inhale, reach the arms for the sky. And exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart. Inhale, reach. And exhale, squeeze the elbows. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, squeeze the elbows. Inhale, we reach. And this time, exhale, palms together, releasing your hands down towards your heart. Finding the top of the mat in our standing pose. Rooting your feet here into the mat. Really making sure your weight is evenly distributed into your feet. You're not leaning forward or back. Just coming to the middle here. Finding alignment to the spine. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Tucking your tailbone in just slightly. Engaging the core. Finding that lift in the chest with that activation. Pressing your chest into your thumbs and your hands pressing against each other slightly to really find that full body activation in our standing pose, making sure that we're breathing here. From here, you're going to release the arms to either side of you. Shifting your weight into that left foot, you're going to take your right foot and place it onto your thigh, your calf, or your ankle, coming into tree pose. So finding a variation that suits you, being mindful that you're not placing your foot on your knee. Your hands will come back to your heart when you're ready. Focusing your gaze on a point to help you with your balance here. We'll begin when we're ready to start to raise our hands over our heads and open up the palms. Standing here in our tree pose, maybe repeating to ourselves here, I radiate courage. Maybe even saying it out loud or just whispering to yourself. I radiate courage. Standing proud, chest open, shoulders relaxed behind you, drawing away from your ears. From here, keeping the core active, you're going to start to shift your knee in towards your chest, staying active in the core. So you're lifting this leg from the core. And then gently, we're going to step that foot behind us, finding warrior one. Those arms still reaching for the sky. Your foot is flat behind you. Your left knee is stacked over your ankle. We'll then open up the arms, finding warrior two pose. Fingertips reaching away from each other. Our gaze is over those front fingertips. We'll inhale, then reach for the sky. Twist the feet to face the side. Gently opening those feet up a little bit. And then we're going to exhale, sit into our goddess pose with our cactus arms again, finding that strong goddess pose. Tucking that tailbone in slightly, activating the core, lifting that chest. Breathing here, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. Saying to yourself here, I have great inner strength. I'm full of inner strength. We'll inhale, reach back up towards the sky. And exhale, twist to face the front. This time you'll come off of the back foot into a high lunge. So your heel is up this time. Finding those strong legs, your hips square to face the front. Your left hip pulling back, right hip forward. Arms are strong, shoulders are relaxed. And from here we're going to try and fly off of that back foot, coming into warrior three. Feeling strong here in this warrior three. And exhale, we're going to release and stand to the top of the mat again. Rooting both feet back into the mat, hands at our hearts. We're going to find that strong standing pose again, feeling rooted into the earth. Our chest pressing into our hands, proud chest here. You're then going to shift your weight into that right foot this time. Release the hands so that you can help yourself, bringing your left foot onto that right leg, being aware that we're not placing it on our knee. And when you're ready, your hands will find your heart again. Finding your balance, finding that focus on one point, your drishti. You'll begin to raise your hands over your head and maybe open up those palms, saying once again to yourself, I radiate courage. From here, you're going to start to shift that knee back to center in towards your chest, using that core here. And then exhale, you're going to step that foot behind you, finding warrior one, dropping the heel into the mat, your hips squaring to face the front, your shoulders relaxed. You're going to open up the arms now, finding warrior two. Gaze is over the front fingertips, reaching for opposite sides. Inhale together, we'll reach for the sky, twist to face the side, open up the feet a little bit. And as you exhale, dropping into that strong goddess pose, cactusing those arms, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you, feeling strong here in our goddess pose. I have great inner strength. I'm full of inner strength. We'll inhale, reach for the sky, extend the legs. And as you exhale, twist to face the front, coming up onto the toes behind you, finding our high lunge. Making sure this time your left hip is pushing forward, your right hip pulling back, squeezing into the midline. That core is activated to find that lift in the chest, proud heart. And from here we're going to slowly start to fly off the back leg, finding warrior three. Hips are still square to face the mat. And we're breathing here. Exhale, we'll gently release, finding ourselves at the top of the mat once again. Hands at our hearts. Chest pushing forward slightly. Open the heart. From here, you're going to open up your feet slightly, as wide as the mat may be. Your toes are pointing out, just like in our goddess pose. We're going to sink into our garland pose. When you're ready, we'll inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, sinking your hips all the way down. Finding that garland pose, pressing your elbows against your knees to open up the hips. Sitting up tall, so still, proud chest here. As if someone's pulling a string from the top of your head, your chin's tucked in slightly. Letting the breath move through your body. And on your next exhale, we're going to drop our hands behind us and find our way to a seated pose on the mat. Making sure that you found a comfortable seat here. We're going to end our practice with one last breath together. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. And with an exhale, your hands are going to float down towards your heart. Maybe whispering to yourself here at the end of your practice, I choose courage over comfort. Thank you so much for joining me here on the mat and exploring our emotions together. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I release a new video. I'm sharing weekly videos, so you don't want to miss out.